Hello. So I'm going to do a review of different things I've watched, such as movies, documentaries. Um, and the first one I'd like to start with is Toxic Beauty. It's a movie, it's a documentary actually, and I thought it was very well done, very well presented, giving you information about the daily products, beauty products essentially, that you're using that may contain carcinogens. I don't think many people are aware of it. It's such a huge industry, and people just buy the product and use it without ever thinking, are these products harmful? And indeed, in fact, they are very harmful. Many people who use talc in baby powder from Johnson & Johnson have been harmed by this, and many people have brought a class action lawsuit, have been involved in one, and they've paid out billions of dollars. And so it's making you aware of these things, and I thought it's something that everyone should watch. I don't think many people are aware of the chemicals used in makeup, lipstick, and these types of things. Some of the same chemicals are used in biological weapons, just to make you think about that. So some of them are called parabens. They've been linked to breast cancer. There's lead and mercury in lipstick and nail polish. And there's a thing that I've never heard of called phthalates, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is linked to infertility from skin lightening products. And that's something that should scare all of us to the point where we check out what we're using. And I think it's a very helpful information that they've given you in this documentary. So it's called Toxic Beauty, and I think it's very important that everyone watch that. The next one was a feature film called Let Them All Talk with Meryl Streep and Candice Bergen. If somebody's asking me whether they should watch it, I tell them it's like watching Golden Girls go on a cruise, or grumpier old men without the woman that they're fighting over, with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. That was quite funny. This is a movie without any jokes, without any drama. The little drama that is there is fake and staged, and it's clearly, this is the first time I've seen Meryl Streep overact or fake act, and it was really disappointing. I thought there was no repartee that I'm used to with Candice Bergen. So I thought she was MIA in this movie. I think she did a really bad job. It seemed to me as though the Queen Mary 2 had teamed up with Steven Soderbergh, almost like do an advertisement for cruises and we'll let you use the ship to film. It seemed staged, and it was quite disappointing. I like almost every role I've seen Meryl Streep in except this one. If you haven't seen Falling in Love, the movie she does with Robert De Niro, I highly recommend you go and watch this instead. I thought that was one of her most poignant and well-acted roles that I've ever seen. And her and Robert De Niro, the chemistry in that, the sexual tension and the drama in that movie. It's a movie about adultery, but just that they wish they had not been with the partners they are with, and it was just such a well-acted movie. Not a lot of people saw it, so I highly recommend you watch that one instead. The cinematography was not so great in Let Them All Talk, but if you like cruises, some of the scenes might remind you of that. But other than that, I didn't think any of the aspects in the film were worth watching. A lot of them seemed staged and fake, and the script was reminiscent of a high school, something you'd see in high school. The dialogue was unredeemably amateurish. It was really quite that bad. So I don't know if it's worth watching for anybody, actually. So I recommend you don't come aboard on that movie. The next one would be Ammonite with Kate Winslet. I thought she did a really good job for what she could with the script that they've given her. I'm sure it'll be in the awards show. I'm sure it'll be a picture nominated for Best Picture. It was wonderfully made. The acting was incredible, but there wasn't a lot to the movie. It was quite thin as far as what the drama was there. And there wasn't a lot of suspense and twists. It was just a really basic movie trying to tell us what happened back in the 1840s. So it's a well worth watching movie, but don't expect too much. The next one I just finished watching was called The Devil We Know, and similar to the Toxic Beauty, it's a movie about the chemicals in our water. I remember reading the article in Vanity Fair years ago about what DuPont had done. There's also a movie about this topic called Dark Water, and that one was a little better. This one was more focused on the lawyers and how the companies deal with these things. They try to get away with it. They try not to let anybody know. So that was unfortunate. So it was well worth watching. But you get the point of the movie right away, and the rest is just filler. The next one would be called Trafficked. It's a new series. I watched 3 episodes. One was about call centers in Jamaica. The second one was about fentanyl, and the third one was about counterfeit money in Peru. I thought it was a really well done documentary where they're giving you information. And if it at all interests you, these topics, then I highly recommend you go watch it. Another one in this similar vein is called This Is Life with Lucy Liu, who I don't particularly like, but sometimes she does some good work. I only watched the last episode. It was about Chinese massages done in America because of Robert Kraft, I guess is the reason she did the episode. And it was interesting that they bring a lot of these girls from China and then they're trafficked here. So that part was interesting to learn about. Other than that, there wasn't too much excessive information, or it wasn't overly filled with information. It was just showing what happens. So if you know about that, you're not going to learn too much. The next one would be The Laundromat. This one was a terrible movie, just an awful movie the way they've done it. I like the topic, the subject matter was interesting, but the way they presented it was just abominable, and it's highly worth avoiding. The next one I watched was called Uncle Frank. I watched it because I like Judy Greer, and she was in it, although she was not a central character. She was only in it for a few minutes. I don't know what to say about this movie. It was watchable, but there was just 3 aspects, and it wasn't anything that we haven't seen before. The acting wasn't overly great, but it wasn't bad. It's the same type of thing we've seen in countless movies before. The character nobody knows is gay, and the niece finds out, and she travels with him in the car to New York, and it was quite predictable. A lot of it was overacting, as I like to say. When the drama isn't there for them to do it with good acting, they try to make it bearable with overacting, and it ends up kind of ruining it. So I didn't really buy into the movie, and it wasn't something I can recommend to other people. I'll tell you one that I would recommend to people. It's called 40 Years a Prisoner. I remember growing up as a youngster hearing about the movement in Philadelphia, but there was not a lot of information or articles written about it, and now they've made a movie about it, more of a documentary. It's all about John Africa, so you can read about it. It started out really good, and then it kind of went, I guess you could say sideways, or it didn't keep me, it's kind of just filling in different information, and that it wasn't something that'll keep you entranced the whole movie. So if you know about this topic, you can still get some information out of it, but it wasn't something that's gonna be gripping, like Just Mercy, that type of movie. The next one would be Wild Mountain Thyme. This is another movie to avoid. It has some top name actors, but they don't do a really good job with it. They're all struggling to get the Irish accent, and you can tell it's not genuine. And I didn't really buy into it at all. And the last one would be I Am Human. Unless you're studying in the field of neurology, once again, I recommend you avoid it. It wasn't anything worth taking up your time to watch. But if you're in that field, you may find some of the information helpful. Okay, so that's it. I've given you 11 recommendations. Only about 3 are worth watching. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.